I have had a super busy morning, and I was going to record this as soon as I woke up, but I had to rush out the door. So the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 ReMind, the DLC, came out at the orchestra event last night. Short story, whatever. Long story short, I don't like it. I don't know how much it's going to be, but it's not going to be any cheaper than $20. I promise you, it's not going to be any cheaper than $20. So, let me tell you what this trailer shows you. It shows cutscenes, mostly just around Luxu and the Master of Masters. That's the only thing that's really important. It shows cutscenes. It shows characters that were already playable a little bit in Kingdom Hearts 3. It shows Oathkeeper with its own form, and it's coming in winter. So it shows 4 things. Okay, so let's start with the coming in winter thing. The fact it says coming this winter shows that they haven't been working on it for long. They started working on DLC after the game launched. Because if you notice, while the game was still in development, a month before the game came out, 2 months before the game came out, interviews were happening. People were like, hey, is there going to be DLC for the game? Excuse me. People were asking, hey, in interviews, is there going to be DLC for the game? They would always say, well, we've thought of the idea. We kind of have a few things that we want to add, but, nothing concrete. That's how they would answer that question all the time. It's like, yeah, it would be cool, but we don't want to rely on it, Like, we don't want to invest into it unless we have to, okay? So that right there shows you that they were not working on DLC while the game was in development. They began working, because of this, you can tell that they began working on DLC after the game announced, or after the game launched. Because after the game launched, fans had criticisms. Fans had feedback. Fans weren't happy with the game. The game that they had been waiting 13 years, 5 years, 5 years since announcement, 13 years in speculation for. And I'm not going to say that 13 years is any type of justification for this, because waiting 13 years is kind of silly. Waiting 5+ years is just as silly, but waiting 5+ years. So they realized fans weren't happy, obviously, because you have a lot of dominant figures in the Kingdom Hearts community who were like, yeah, it's okay, and no, it's downright trash, and then you had some people who just loved it for whatever reason. But the fact it's coming out this winter shows that they started it maybe February? After reviews and stuff were out, maybe February. I don't know when exactly they announced the name, but I'm sure it was sometime around then. I'm sure it was close to the, maybe a week or two after the game launched, is when they got, or is when they went into another interview, and some other interviewer was asking about DLC, and they were like, yeah, it's going to be called ReMind. I forgot when that was. But actually, you know what? I can pull it up. We can see just exactly when they did that. If Discord wants to pop open. Put him in a longboat until he's sober. Put him in a longboat until he's sober. Put him in a longboat until he's sober. When is this? 4/27/19. That was April. They announced the name in April. So you could say they started development in April at the absolute latest. But personally, I think they started February. When fan reception and stuff started buzzing, right? So they started it in February. Because before, while the game was still in development, before the game even launched, whenever they were asked about DLC, they were like, we may do it. But no. Now that the game has launched, and fans had mixed reviews, now they're doing DLC. Because they want to appease fans. It's exactly what happened to Final Fantasy 15. And whether or not Final Fantasy 15 ended up as a good game, even after all the DLC, fans still bicker about. Personally, I think it's fun. Final Fantasy 15 does have its issues, and you can find those all on my friend Dean's channel. You're welcome, Dean. But as far as these things are concerned, so yeah, it's coming out in winter. That was the first thing. The other thing that people are talking about is whether or not the contents of this trailer should have been DLC. And here's another thing. We know this isn't all the DLC. If we look back at this tweet, that's not it, is it? This. So this was made in April. So ReMind, additional scenario called ReMind, whatever that is. Limit episode and a boss, secret episode and a boss, English VA option, free is a new Keyblade in new form. That's probably Oathkeeper. So if Oathkeeper is free, then that's cool. But paid being cutscenes and bosses. I didn't mean to open up my mail. There, well, it wasn't responding anyway. Where are the bosses in this? Don't tell me the bosses are these little fights here. I feel like this is the additional scenario. Because, like, these are different scenarios of how these fights could have happened without Sora for these two and playing as Riku as this one. So I feel like that may be the scenario. Either that, or these cutscenes here between Lushu, Zigbar, Master, Xehanort, and Luxord. But like I said, where are the bosses? There's no information about here about the secret episode or the limit episode. There's nothing. There's nothing. Which tells me that this trailer is incomplete. And then that tells me that they're going to market this again. That they're going to have another trailer or do some other news promoting the rest of the DLC. Why? Why are they making more than one trailer for ReMind? Why? Why? Fans wanted all of this stuff before the game even came out. They knew that. Through interviews, through online forums and stuff. We know they listen because they always tweet out and Facebook share and whatever. A lot of fan-made posts. KH Insider and KH13, they get their tweets and Facebook messages reshared and retweeted by Square Enix all the time. Or by the official Kingdom Hearts Twitter all the time. So they obviously know that all of this stuff fans wanted from before the game even launched. So why are they remarketing this multiple times as if it's multiple different products that they're trying to get us to buy? There should be one trailer showing all of the footage that we all wanted while the game was still in development with an actual release date. Don't tell me it's coming out in winter. In winter. And if they actually were planning on DLC while the game was still in development, like authentic DLC, like DLC that they wanted to make before fan reception came out. If they actually wanted to do DLC, I guarantee you this would have come out by the end of summer. I guarantee you. But no, it's coming out in the winter because they started it in February. Maybe. April at the absolute latest. Oathkeeper being free is cool. I hope Oblivion is the same way. Paying for the cutscenes, and again, I guarantee you that this ReMind DLC pack is not going to be any cheaper than $20. And if ReMind is just what this trailer is, because this is the ReMind DLC trailer, to someone who doesn't see all these tweets and messages and stuff, I keep pressing different apps. To someone who doesn't see all these tweets and messages, this seems to be all the DLC. And DLC packs typically are $20, maybe more. Sometimes if it's a cheaper game, then you'll get cheaper DLC packs. But if the Keyblade in the form is free, then you're paying $20 for cutscenes and playing as Roxas. You're paying $20 to get cutscenes and to play as Roxas. From this trailer alone. Yeah, there are going to be other boss fights. There's going to be different episodes. There's going to be, it seems here, there's going to be at least 2 boss fights and 2 episodes, which I assume will be playable. Whether that be you play as Zigbar, you play as young Master Xehanort. I don't know. That's not in the trailer. They should have showed it in the trailer, if that's what this is. This is so butchered. It's butchered. Like, it could work. Why are they splitting the marketing like this? I mean, they may not even do another trailer for ReMind. At their E3 conference tomorrow, they may just redo this trailer. They may just relaunch it. And they probably will. But they still have to show us those 2 boss fights, those 2 episodes. They still have to do that. Why weren't those in here? Is it because they're not finished? Well, probably. It's not finished. It's coming out in winter. This is so stupid, dude. God, this is so stupid. Am I paying for it? Yes. I'm not paying for Oathkeeper apparently though, because that's free. Oh Lord, this is just so dumb. This is just so dumb. I love it. I love it. I love how dumb it is. I can't talk about this anymore. I don't know what else to say aside from the fact it's dumb. So I'm just gonna end the video here. If we get something new tomorrow, I'll make a video about that. But this is it, guys. I'm tapping out. Peace.